Welcome to the Times podcast. This week, Peter Pahides talks to the editors.
Hello, welcome to this week's Times podcast. You're listening to Peter Pahides, and with me here I've got the editors, well at least two of them. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Chris, I play guitar.
My name's Tom and I sing and play guitar as well.
Would you like to tell us where we are, because it's quite exciting as well?
We're in the downstairs part of the Paradiso in Amsterdam.
So you're kind of in the middle of a longish sort of tour, aren't you?
It's kind of a month jaunt around Europe, which leads into our 2-3 week tour of the UK.
Yeah.
And we've just come off the back of a couple of weeks in the States as well. So yeah, we had a bit of time off for Christmas, so we're just kind of getting back into Australia really, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of feels like we've been on tour for ages anyway, because America was a bit of a head start, and then I think this is our fourth gig or something tonight, and just because we've had so many fiascos with buses breaking down and tyre blowouts and
Really? You've
not
had
being
a
worth.
tyre blowout?
Yeah, well,
On a train.
it was more of a slow puncture, but as it's rock and roll, we'll say it exploded just outside Metz in France. We were on our way to Germany, so we'd already had a different bus, and it wasn't powerful enough to pull our trailer, which is obviously overloaded with all this new gear that we've got.
Yes.
So we had to switch it around a bit and change the wheel. I say I was fast asleep.
Yeah, tour manager's business.
Yeah.
I can, it's funny you say your gear does sound very new, just pure, if loudness is anything to go by, standing at the side. Are your ears okay?
No, I was thinking that today actually. It's quite loud on stage as well.
How is it?
It's louder on stage tonight, but it's it's normally louder out front than it is on stage. It looks a lot when you've got all those amps, but actually they're all on about 3.
Exactly.
So
Well, that's kind of frightening.
Our fans will go deaf, but we'll be fine.
The album seems to be kind of getting bigger and bigger all the time. You know? It must have exceeded your expectations by now.
Definitely, I think we thought obviously we were very happy with the way it'd gone last year, but I think towards the end of last year we thought it kind of plateaued, and we were looking towards the next record, and we're still doing that, but there's obviously still quite a lot of legs in it. It's like someone's got a balloon and they're just continually pumping it up, and it's still going and going and going and going. And
He's suggesting that it's going to explode any minute now.
Who knows what size that balloon is, but
It could be a hot air balloon.
we're going all the way up and away.
More like a blimp.
Just snag.
Yeah.
It seems natural to compare how your lives must have been. Christmas 2005, Christmas 2004. Can we do a split screen kind of
Same presents. Pants and socks, check. Kind of useless gifts, check. Toiletries, check. So that was pretty much the same.
We just quit our jobs. We were about to go on tour in January when our first single came out, and we didn't really know how that was going to go down.
first single?
First and third. Was it?
Single, yeah.
No, first and fourth.
Okay, yeah. First time round, it was very, very, very limited, and it was the first thing that got picked up by Radio Zeno, obviously. And, it also one of the first songs that we wrote as a band that we kind of thought, hang on, this is something very good.
And that was ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was we wrote that in the last year of university,
Yeah.
and we had a different drummer as well, and that was a song that kind of got a lot of people down our gigs, like A&R, kind of like tail end of 2003. We kind of sent a 1-track demo of Bullets out.
Yeah.
And just to see what would happen really. We sent it to about 2 or 3 people, and a couple of weeks later there was like 30 A&R coming to Birmingham to the Jug of Ale in Moseley. Yeah, it's an important song for us.
So it's the totemic song for you, I
Bit of
guess.
a calling.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of like when you realise that you could do that relatively well.
Okay, let's hear a bit of it.
Yeah, we did the Maida Vale session for Zalo, which was obviously really, really exciting. That happened in about, was it November, December or something that we found out about that? And then we were obviously getting a few spot plays on Radio 1, and there was kind of talk, a little bit of press, and more people getting involved. So it was kind of more excitement than anything that we were kind of like, potentially could have this big year. This year it's like, oh, we have had that big year.
Okay, so
what's next?
Can we kind of like zone in on a typical thing that a member of your family of an older generation would have said to you with regards to the band last year, and a typical thing that they said over the Christmas dinner this year?
Are you saying what difference a gold disc can make? Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or platinum disc?
You're talking about my grandparents? Because I still don't think they have a clue what's going on. This stuff, is this yours? What is this? They're Polish,
Oh,
so I think they're probably not quite sure what's going on. I think you kind of try and explain it to them, but because they're sort of like, they're in their 80s and they're from Poland, It's quite difficult to describe what being in a band's like.
And how about your family, Tom?
They've always been great, really supportive. They now kind of arrange their trips, their away. They take weekends away and stuff with their mates and stuff around where we might be in Europe or wherever. And the last Astoria gig, they all met up, all the parents for the first time with all the band members together, and had a pre-gig drink and came to the gig. You could see them on the balcony, this long line.
Is that a good feeling or a nervous feeling?
At the beginning of the year when we were touring and they came, we were still kind of first tour.
Yeah.
It was a bit nerve-wracking, but now it's great. I mean,
it's nice to have them around.
It's nice that they're so supportive and they get so much happiness from it. So.
Okay, so everyone's very happy for you. That's obviously fantastic. It's quite, not that you know by talking to you, but it's quite intense music. And it strikes me that intense music often, provokes intense reactions in fans. Is that borne out by your exchanges with some of your fans?
I mean, we've always had very passionate, intense fans that have been involved from the start, but they're definitely multiplying in numbers all the time. Where were we last night? We were in Frankfurt. Intense is one word. Insane might have been another one.
I spotted them when Gliss were playing. I said, look out for them lot at the front.
Actually, they weren't typical Editors fans, to be honest, but they were like the hands in the air. They were turning around to the crowd, giving it all the come on.
The come on stuff.
It was a bit embarrassing, actually.
What song should we play next?
Let's play Camera. The album's called The Back Room, and the lyric comes from that song. For me, it really surprised me in the studio when we were recording it, because prior to we went into the studio to do with it, it was totally different guys. It was a fast song, much more similar to music, and it just wasn't good enough really. It wasn't working. It was good, but it wasn't good enough, and we decided to, with the help of our producer, to take it apart and put it back together again. Yeah, I think we just set ourselves a benchmark, something that people after hearing things like Munich and Bullets might not expect to hear on it.
Keep close to me. Let's close my eyes as you walk out.
I gather, Tom, that definitely maybe got you playing guitar in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, up until that point, I hadn't really been excited by what you could consider other pop music, obviously Michael Jackson and stuff like that when I was a kid. But
you're trying not to say indie music, right?
Yeah, well, indie, what guitar, whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, when definitely maybe kind of Park Path came out, that was it for me. I wanted to be in a band.
How old were you?
So I'd have been about 13, was I?
94, 13.
Yeah. So at that age, because it was everywhere. It was everywhere. Culturally, on the fashion, politics, everything. It was all over the telly, and I just recently started secondary school and all that stuff, and new bunch of mates. It was exciting, and that made me pick up the guitar in the first place and learn those songs.
So that bears out a kind of theory that one might lazily have that, like yourself, all these bands, many of whom you find yourself playing with, the kind of new vanguard of guitar bands.
Yeah.
Maybe the whole kind of Britpop palaver 10 years ago. It seems that you are its progeny.
Definitely for us, anyway. I mean,
we're not ashamed to admit it, are we? I mean,
no, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
You kind of look back now, and at the time it was very exciting, but you kind of look back at the not so great bands and all the kind of the bandwagon that happened a couple of years afterwards, and the way it kind of imploded and became this deeply uncool thing.
But I kind of quickly, moved on, then from things like Radiohead and Spiritualized, and kind of went back to our own back catalogue and stuff. But that's where it started. Yeah, that was the spark.
So even though you'll carry yourselves with this, you kind of project a kind of a very sort of appealing kind of clinical kind of musical sort of austerity that reminds some of us older music fans of early 80s indie music. If you're drunk in a karaoke bar in Japan and Part Life comes on, that's going to be
I think that would be a good night.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put my specs on and I'll be coxoning it up like you've never seen before.
Graham Coxon is a big character for a guitarist of yours.
Yeah, definitely. It's very difficult when people kind of ask you for guitar heroes and stuff, and it's just the kind of your token Claptons and Hendrixes and stuff make me feel a little ill. So it's just nice when you get someone like Graham Coxon who just does some things very, very intelligently and without the need to whittle, and does things based around melody. So it's a thing that kind of John Squire used to do on the first album as well.
Yeah. Some of you live together, don't you? Is that right?
We all used to. Yeah, we all used to. Yeah. I mean, me, Ed, and Russell have a house and the lease is up in about 6 weeks, and that's going to be it.
Really?
Yes, we're going to live out of our bags because we're going to be away for about 3 months, I think, which is,
Right.
you know, it doesn't take a financial genius to realise that that's not good
Yes.
money sense, you know.
So, and then are you going to stay in Birmingham stubbornly?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be I'm going to move all my stuff back. I think we all are, to our respective homes.
Right.
And Russell lives in Solihull anyway, which is near Birmingham. And I'm going to take my stuff back to Nottingham and just whoever will put me up, really, I'll stay with them.
That sounds quite poignant.
Mm.
Whoever will put me up.
I'll be a traveller. Get a big donkey or something. It's quite difficult to be in this situation where you haven't got enough money to buy a house, but
Yeah.
you're just kind of wasting money if you rent one.
Where do you live, Tom?
I live in London.
Do you go
I don't spend much time there. There's only time when I'm not gigging or on the road. I stay there with my girlfriend.
So obviously your girlfriend is Edith Bowman. It occurred to me that there may be a slight problem when your girlfriend plays your record on the radio. Does she introduce it completely dispassionately, as if she didn't know you?
How does she introduce our records, Chris? Very professionally, like you'd expect.
Yeah, just like Zane Lowe does it, but with a slightly
Scottish
female voice.
Well, you know, she's already bought my way onto the radio and playlist, so it's fine.
Exactly.
Of course.
And if I hadn't slept with Zane Lowe all those months ago, then I would be here now.
All Sparks, I think, is the next song we're going to hear a little bit of. Which this kind of sounds almost like dystopian kind of marching music in a way to these ears.
That was where the dark disco was penned, that some people are trying to tag onto us, especially in Europe as well. They love the fact that you use the phrase disco to describe your music once.
I can hear your Polish side in this one, I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Only in a very pat general kind of.
I'm glad it's shining through.
Tell your gran.
Yeah, I will do. Maybe that's the one I should play to my grandparents to get them into the band. It's going to be the next single anyway. It was the one that we kind of written about 3 or 4 weeks before we were due to go to the studio, and it kind of was never really working. And Jim Abbas, our producer, came down for a couple of weeks for a bit of pre-production with us, and kind of helped sort it out really. Just kind of make everything merge together, and it just made sense. And we just kind of got that vibe after a couple of hours in the studio with him just working on it, and it kind of really set the tone. I'm really glad we did that. Set the tone for the whole of the album when we hooked up with him a couple of weeks later.
Sounds great. It's one of my very favourites.
You're answering questions that have not yet.
I'd like to ask you a little bit about your previous jobs, if I may.
Okay.
Was it you that worked in the call centre, Tom?
Me and Russ worked in the same call centre for Lloyd's PSB.
What did you have to do?
Very boringly, it was a call centre. We were registrars, which is people that if you have shares, stocks and shares, we help the shareholders look after their stock. So it's not, we were drilled into us that we weren't financial advisors, but like if you lose your share certificate, we'd help them get a new one, or if someone dies, give them the right way of transferring the shares. And it was like working in a call centre. It's beep, good afternoon, you're through to Tom, how can I help? Beep, good afternoon, you're through to Tom, how can I help?
Is that why the songs have a slightly melancholy air about them, possibly? Because you've been slaving away in a call centre?
Possibly. I mean, living in the year and a half in Birmingham, we were trying to get a deal, was pretty bleak in places, and so was our time at university. I mean, we had our friendship in our band, and that was brilliant, but we were in Stafford. People kind of look back fondly at their university days, and there's a kind of romance about it. There was none of that where we were. It wasn't a particularly good course or much fun.
What was the course?
We were doing a music technology course, so we had ideas to maybe engineers or producers or whatever, or quickly realised that we were terrible at it. But when you don't really know what to do with your life, and that's the kind of...
It's amazing how many music fans have that same idea as well. They're into music, maybe they play a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, I can be a producer. That's a great idea.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a million other people have got the same idea, and nobody that I know that I've ever worked with has ever been on a music course. We didn't really embrace student life, did we? No. To be fair.
In what aspect?
Well, we had no choice.
Through necessity.
Yeah, when you're a student, you go out, you're naughty, you get drunk, there's all girls and all that. Oh, look at that, he's wacky, that guy. But because we lived in Stafford, then there was absolutely nothing to do. We'd go to rock night sometimes on Saturday, and there'd be about 12 people there.
I should just add at this point, it sounds like a very loud dub record is playing in the background. It's a man sound checking a bass guitar. Is that what it is?
It's actually a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Can you tell by the finger picking technique?
That's appalling of me that I should have just assumed it was a man.
No, that's actually female.
NME, amongst many other things, called you Britain's gloomiest band.
Aye.
How do you feel about that?
They also described us as paranoid sex music.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still confused.
I think that maybe says a lot more about the person who said that.
Perhaps, yeah. I don't know. Are we Britain's gloomiest band?
I don't know.
Considering we've met Enemy a couple of times, that they would still kind of go on that theory.
I think as our especially recently as our kind of stature's grown and the awareness of our band's grown and people seem to get it more, that's kind of gone away a little bit in the UK. I think people that if somebody casually observes us, it can be easy to say, oh, they're just a bunch of moody bastards. But I think the people that get our record also see the often romantic side of the lyrics or the hope, as well as I sing about both things.
There are a lot of romantic sentiments.
I hope so, yeah. A lot of the great bands that make me want to jump up and down and make me feel happy, a lot of people say they're miserable, like Radiohead or the Smiths. People don't really like them, just a bunch of miserable, whiny, but it's not. I don't think.
It's affirmational, I think. Affirmational music.
Franz Ferdinand said they want to make music make girls dance.
Yes.
And so
that's
we do the opposite.
Yeah.
We make men dance, not make the girls stop dancing.
We did that too.
yeah.
Girls stopped dancing, men started dancing.
It's not a catchy slogan. We make music to
stop girls dancing.
To not stop girls dancing.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, that's why we picked Franz Ferdinand as our headline on the last tour anyway, so we could kind of even it up, get some more girls involved.
That's very, very forward thinking.
Thanks.
So, is there anything you can say off the top of your head that might undermine those, should they be still there, those gloomy band perceptions?
I think some of the sounds on the record are quite... We kept on using this word demonic when we were in the studio, which I thought was just quite interesting, just when we were just creating sounds, and especially when we were trying to make my guitar sound a little bit different and more like sometimes like a synth, and we were using lots of different effects and stuff and making it sound a little evil. It's just trying to create interesting sounds, so I guess that's... Is
there a record in your collections that we might be surprised by?
I've just downloaded Gangstar album. I used to be a big hip-hopper in the late 90s. It's got like 33 songs on it. It's like the full...
The best of.
Yeah, the best of. Well, I've got loads of stuff on my mini disc at home, but now everyone laughs when I mention mini disc and I can't put it on my iPod, so...
How about you yourself, Tom? Is there a record in your collection that we might be surprised by?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about kind of early Britpop stuff and...
Yeah. What other people's songs did you play with?
We never did covers.
Not this band, but in the bad bands I were in school, we did covers.
Yeah, me too.
Distance is the only song that we've ever had a Genesis comparison. If we go back to where we started, come down to the record.
Yeah, it's kind of like, the kids good night, come down, it's kind of like after a gig you have a little drink and relax and drive home, and that's kind of like, that's it, and that's the drink at the end of the night on the record.
Distance.
Being on the road, is it having any effect on new material? Are you able to kind of keep writing, or is it?
We had a bit of time off over Christmas, and I think we've got about 5-6 songs, some of which will make it onto new records, some of which won't. One song which we're going to play tonight, we're going to play a new song.
What's it called?
It's called The Weight of the World, and
it's funny, we played it for I think the last 3 gigs, and it's already ended up on the internet, and everyone's getting a little bit kind of wetting themselves. Just the fact that we've kind of finally written a new song after all this time, it was quite nice to actually get that done over Christmas, because we can kind of relax to know that we can do it, we can tour and still write, and we're already happy with the tune as well.
Could people in bands say it's hard to write on the road?
Yeah, that first thing, that moment where basically I wrote the first lyrics or whatever, and the basis of the song on an acoustic or whatever, I can't really do that unless I'm on my own, and when you're on the road you're never on your own. But we've got some ideas now that we can start demoing and kind of working on things in sound checks and stuff, which we have been doing and we will continue to do. So maybe by the time we get back to the UK we'll at least have one new song. We might have 2 new songs, we'll see.
They are, for all of what people say about the doominess and whatever, they're very catchy songs. And
we like melody, we never shied away from it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How many more weeks are you going to be on the road?
Well, I mean, this tour runs into, like I said, the UK tour, which I think we've got a little bit of time off, but then March we go to South by Southwest, and we're in America for 8 weeks non-stop. So we come back I think we're coming back via Australia, then Japan, and then I think we get home, and before we know it, it's festivals.
We've talked a bit about various things around the band, but it would be nice to hear a bit of Munich, which a lot of people will know because it was quite a big hit recently.
Yeah, it only took us 2 times to release it, and as is the fashion these days. Oh yeah, it's the most radio-friendly song on our album.
Also, the first 2 weeks it charted, it did better than it did the first time round as well. I think it went 10, then 17, and that was, I think Blood went to 18, which was our previous best.
Oh, excellent.
So the first 2 weeks,
it's our only foray into the top 10 singles chart. At 10.
It's time. It's time, yeah.
Skin of its teeth.
Look up, look up, look up now. It's a long way down.
That was The Editors with their latest single, Munich. You can find out more about the Times podcasts by visiting the website at www.timesonline.co.uk/podcasts. You've been listening to the Times podcast with Pete Pahides talking to The Editors. Technical delivery and production by Unique.